It's the final round of the Norway Chess 2025, the classical game between the current women's world champion who is on your screen right now, Wenjun, and India #1, Koneru Humpy, ended in a draw. It is now time for the Armageddon struggle. You can see Wenjun getting totally focused here, and Humpy arrives. Always super concentrated, super determined, and let's see what happens in this game. The first place has already been sealed by Anna Muzichuk. For the second place, Le Tingye is fighting against Sarah Khadem, and Humpy, if she manages to do well, could fight for second or third place here. So let's have a look at this game. For now, both the players are ready and ready to go. The arbiter comes in, a handshake, and Humpy opens with d4. She has 10 minutes and she plays the Trompowsky here. d5 played, knight comes out to d2. Wenjun has 7 minutes on the clock and plays her pawn to g6. You can take on f6 now, double the pawns, but Humpy chooses the more solid option with e3. Bishop comes out to g7. And now the bishop comes to d3. Notice how Humpy is not developing her knight on f3 yet, on g1 yet to f3. Pawn to f4 played. Now this is a tricky line that Humpy's gone for. She weakens the e4 square, but she's like, okay, I also get a lot of control on the e5 square. Wenjun immediately puts pressure on b2. Rook b1 comes in to defend the pawn. And she plays this very weird move, queen e6, attacking e3. If you play queen e2, possible, but Humpy goes more active with queen to f3. Pawn takes pawn. Now, of course, you have to take back with the c pawn. You cannot take back with the e pawn. Humpy was maybe considering f5 move there. Knight comes to b6. Very different way of playing this position. h3 played. Maybe stopping the queen g4 ideas. Preparing g4. Short castle here by black. Knight to e2 seems logical. Yes, she brings her knight and she will castle next. Wenjun develops her bishop to d7, wanting to get the rook to the c file. And pawn to b3, stopping the knight from coming here. Just a dominating move against the knight on b6. And pawn to a6 played. a4. These two pawns now limit the knight as well as the bishop. And rook comes into c8. Maybe it's time to push f5. Maybe it's time to castle. Let's see what Humpy does here. We have a player who's blocking the camera. And Humpy has pushed f5. She has pushed it here. And Wenjun goes back here. Because if you take on, there is knight f4. And then bishop takes f6 and d5 pawn with a5 coming in would be in trouble. So very nice move by Humpy. Queen d6 played by Wenjun. Maybe this is Magnus Carlsen. Yeah, it's Magnus who's looking here. Castles played. And now bishop to c6. Magnus fully engrossed in this game as he prepares for his own Armageddon against Arjun. Bishop comes to f4. Queen jumps into b4, attacking the knight on d2. Have to be careful here. Humpy brings the b1 rook to d1. With the pawn on f5, there could be potential attack on the king side, but knight to e4. Is this just sacrifice of a pawn? Takes. What exactly does Wenjun have on her mind? Maybe she wants to chop off the pawn on b3 later. But this knight e4 was not called for. Queen takes b3 taken. But now d5 is a super powerful move, followed by rook b1. I mean, she goes rook b1 first, but now there's bishop takes e4. And perhaps not that strong if she had played d5 and rook b1. Now the knight is hanging here, but queen d5 saves the day. Takes, you can take back with the knight. Queen takes pawn, Humpy going for it. And now the knight is hanging, so is the pawn. If you play rook e8, queen will jump back. She does play rook e8. Now either queen g5 or queen b4. She goes queen b4. And rook c6 defending the knight. Who plays her knight to c4. And can Humpy snatch this pawn on b7? Maybe she can. She takes on g6 first. And Wenjun plays f takes g6. 1 minute 31 seconds for Wenjun. 2 minutes 33 seconds for Humpy. Knight to c3. Beautiful play here by Humpy, maintaining control in a position that is very wild. Queen goes back to d7. And rook e1, defending the pawn. Very stable play, attacking the b7 pawn. Can there be some tactics with bishop d4, ed4, queen d4? Nothing's happening. b6 played. Defending the pawn here. The pressure is mounting. Both players have been able to maintain the pressure. Rook b d1, another fine move, just defending everything. King h8 played. And now king to h1. Yes, puts the king on the side of the board. h6 played. And now Humpy can start rolling her pawns in the center of the board. e4 seems like a very strong move. Because one thing finds it, e4 on the board. If bishop takes d4, knight e2 and you lose the piece. She goes bishop f8, attacking the queen. But now you can see all of Humpy's pieces beautifully positioned, also on time. She has 47 seconds, 36 seconds for Wenjun. Oh my god, this is super stressful. g5 played. Maybe just drop the bishop back to g3. Yes, she goes bishop h2, pawn to g4, playing for the attack on the king side. And Humpy takes, queen takes, and maybe just bring the rook up. Rook d3, rook g3, looks good. But knight d5, not the best move. She blunders the e4 pawn. Wenjun misses it. e5 pushed. Nice move there by Humpy. And you can see Wenjun scratching her head. She's not able to find a move. It's 14 seconds. 20 for Humpy. Jumps with knight f6. Good move. Pawn takes. The quality of this game has been super high. And Wenjun's going to lose on time. Rook f8. They are on move 37. After move 40, you get 1 second increment. She's only 3 seconds. Rook f1 played. She goes knight a5. And queen to d5. Another good move. King h7. Bishop e5. And she loses on time. It's the 40th move. But Humpy's totally winning here. What a high pressure encounter. And Humpy finishes the Norway Chess 2025 on a high by beating the Women's World Champion Wenjun.